I was wondering, you are from Poland? And
I am from Poland.
Yes. And you made this film in Cambodia. Why?
Well, because it's our world. Cambodia is, as you know, Poland, Romania, Cambodia. There are different countries, but that's the world we live in. So in short, that's the answer. But I wanted to make a film, a feature film for a long, long time, and I was always thinking it's gonna be a feature film. And then I went to Cambodia. It was totally different. I went for a job. I was shooting some kind of commercial job there, and I discovered Iran, and I made the decision to come back and make this film. That's how it happened.
And you already
so
met...
there was no,
okay.
like, you know, there was no plan.
Okay. And you met already at that time these characters, or?
No, I met him when I first went there. It was the first time in my life I went to Cambodia, and I met him on, this was the first, the DOP, Przemytniczy Poruk, with whom I went, was there like a few years ago. And he said to me, and the night we landed, he said, let's go for a walk. You know, I have to show you the city. And we went first to the King Palace, to see the King Palace and the river bank. And the guy called Yo-Yo, the rickshaw guy, the tuk-tuk guy, said to us that he's got a place for us to go. And he showed us the 51st Street, which was the street divided on the two sides of the street, as usual, and you have brothels, basically brothels, and bars and things like that. And on the other side you have the people who sell the food, water, cigarettes, beer, and Iran. And that was the first, literally the first person whom I talked to, apart from the Yo-Yo. And that's how it started.
I've read an interview with you, and I found out that you have worked 2 years in post-production with this film. Why?
Why? Because, first of all, money-wise, it was kind of really, I produced this film and it was really difficult. I had to produce it like, it often happens in documentaries that first you make the film, then you look for the money and basically produce it backwards. Which is kind of difficult, and this is my story as well. So it took me a lot of time because of this, and also because of the editing, which was extremely difficult. It took a year and a half actually to edit this film, not because we didn't know what we wanted to do, but because of many, many things that we wanted to not to lose in this film. I was fascinated by the subject because I was thinking it's multi-layered, that there are like many, many stories in this film. And I didn't really want to concentrate on one. I wanted to tell all of them. And this was kind of utopia, and this utopia took us a year and a half, and that's the result.
How many cameramen did
One. Oh. I had the second. I was supposed to be the second cameraman, but then on the location and all the things that happened to us were so well. Difficult and surprising that there was no way that I could, shoot with the second camera. I had to do many other things that were much more important than just to be there with the second camera, and I decided to go with the old school, to make the film on one camera, with one cameraman, and well, it was only three of us, me, the DOP, and Mateusz Adamczyk, who made the sound. And this was also the decision that was made because we were aware what's going to happen, what the street is about, what is the danger there, and what is their apartment, how are we going to shoot, the shooting on the hidden cameras, for example. All of this we knew before we got there, so it was the only way from our point of view to make this film. Otherwise, it just wouldn't be possible. Everything was illegal.
And how long did it take the shooting?
Very short. I mean,
How?
3 weeks. Not even 3 weeks. A little bit less than 3 weeks, but very, very intense. 16, 18 hours a day.
Did you show them the film?
I did, yeah.
And their reaction?
Ilan sent me an SMS message, which was very... the English language that he's using is kind of difficult to understand, but I think it meant the text in the message was I saw the film once. It's a hard film. We should all the art should wake up people before we will all soon be at Phnom. Something like this. So I disagree that people hide things. That's not true. They hide the things. That's what we think that people hide. The camera. Well, you can see many films. It's not just one-off. That people show the things. It's just what we read that it's hidden or that it's not hidden for us. It's probably based on our experience and of what we really want to hide in ourselves. So that's one issue, but I'm kind of answering in a very general way because these are big questions. I don't know if we have time for this, but I'm available after the film.
Yeah, maybe.
Then the second thing is about the direction. I don't believe in a director that's a piece of furniture that you put the camera on and press record. Of course, the film is a creation, and if you, for example, if you look at the last Zayed's film, the Paradise Love, that's in Cannes now. Yeah, the difference between that is actually a very fascinating subject for me. Between the feature film and the documentary film, that's the area that I'm most interested in. It's a very narrow line, It's of course there are different responsibilities for the director and different ways of directing, but in this case, it wasn't staged the way the feature film is staged, and I think that's clear. You don't stage things like that. People just do these things. People quarrel, people fight, people have emotion, and they show them. And in this case, it was just an amazing meeting. I mean, in terms of me meeting Ilan and Saran and the relationship we managed to have. And them being themselves and actors as well, because if you look at this film very, there are moments that I put to show that they are aware of the camera, that they know the camera is there. That you can also say that the camera in our life is in our everyday life, the camera is everywhere. In our phone, in a photo camera, in a hidden camera, in a camera that's in a shop, wherever. Everything is filmed, and it's just the point of if you are aware of this camera or not. And the way you behave change in a moment that. Okay, they become actors, that's what I want to say. In a certain moment of the film, they became actors, really. And I got really lost, if they're acting now or not. And this way of getting lost and this way of not being sure of what is true and what is not true, or what is acted, or what is staged, or what is not staged, is also fascinating for me in this film. And the whole editing work was supposed to put the audience in a position that I was in when I was shooting this film. because I was really surprised. There were some moments that the film was not supposed to be made at all, and for some reason it happened. But these are like these are my utopias about the editing, because I think editing is not just you know, putting the pictures together. It's like in music, it's like giving the whole form to it gives you the feeling of the story. It's not the cut between the two shots. Yeah. It's much more, and so that's one of the reasons it took me so long. I don't want to edit with the idea that something has to be done because there are some rules. I did this thing to the editing. That's actually a great point, because I did this on a purpose to put you in the situation I was put in. You know, to be surprised that something that is supposed to happen is not going to happen, and also that it's not a parallel editing. Parallel editing is when you have two actions going parallel. These are not two parallel actions. They are different in time. So that's according to the the film form, you know, and these are actions. The parallel editing you have in The Godfather, when you see there are two actions happening at the same time. You know, someone's killing someone, and he's at the grave, and at the same time someone is. This is not the case. It's a parallel editing.